Hey there, my name's John Cheong Holdaway and I'm a musician, creative producer and economist based in Melbourne. And I want to tell you about my favourite Indonesian word for this year's Acicis Bahasa Sesh, and that is TEMENIN. If you haven't heard the word before, if you looked it up in a dictionary, you're not going to find it. And why is that? Well, it's because it's Jakarta slang or Betawi. If you turned it into a formal Indonesian word, it would be menemani. And if you know your Indonesian prefixes and suffixes, the root word is teman, which means friend. So it's kind of like saying, I'll friend you. And if you look that up in the dictionary, it'll translate it probably as something like accompany. So, okay, you've got this word that seems somewhat similar, but there's a context that I've seen it in Indonesia that doesn't really exist, or at least not in the same way in Australia. And I wanted to tell you a little bit about that. So imagine you're in Indonesia and you've been working, at your office, and you've been working really hard and you have to work over lunch. So you run down and you get your lunch and you're eating a little bit late. So you're sitting in the lunchroom and someone else comes in to make a cup of tea and they see you sitting there by yourself sadly eating your lunch, and they'll be like, baru makan, ini sini aku temenin. So in English that would be like, oh, you're just eating? Here, I'll sit with you while you do it. If someone were to say that in English, it almost sounds like, look, don't you have work to do or something? But in Indonesian, it's incredibly common. And I think it says something about the way that Indonesians really value food as a way to bring people together. It's like the saddest thing in the world for someone to be sitting eating by themselves when lunch is a time for you to get to know people and talk. And I guess it also just speaks a little to the importance of learning a language in that context, because there's so much more to a word, to any word that you want to dig into, than what it says in the dictionary. So yeah, learning Indonesian from Australia is amazing, but please also make that time to get over in country and spend time in the culture, because you'll learn so much more and it's really fun. And with that, that's my Bahasa Sesh for this year. See you next year.